Hey there, today I'm going to be sharing some Canada Day DIYs that are nature inspired. Welcome to Creative by Nature DIY and Decor. My name is Donna. So for my first project, I am going to be reusing this picture frame that I had repurposed a while back. I will leave the video for that down below. I removed the image and I'm just lifting back the tabs. So now I have a selection of some vintage book pages that are in assorted colors and font size. And I'm just going to be layering these on top of each other, tearing up the pages as needed. So I'm going to layer them up, and then once I have the desired look I like, I will then glue them together. So before I glue anything together, I'm just going to flip this back over and see how it looks on the front side, and I really like how it looks. So now I'm going to be using my Oohoo glue stick. Now I really like the Oohoo glue stick because it does have a long-lasting hold. So I'm just lifting up one edge of a page, adding some glue, and then pressing the pages together firmly. So I'll continue to glue my pages as shown, and then I will again flip it over to see how it looks, and I'm really pleased with that. So for this next part, I went out on a walk and collected some maple leaves, and as you can see, I've got different color variations and sizes. I am then going to use my scissors and snip off the leaves, and I do want a selection of the different sizes. If you can get your hands on some red maple leaves, then go ahead and use those. As you can see, there is a little bit of sap that's coming off. I'm just using a rag to wipe that off, as I found it was quite sticky. So once the sap has all dried, you are now going to figure out placement for your leaves on your book pages. So I want a leaf that's going to be in the center. And then using my Oohoo glue stick, I'm going to apply some glue to the back side and then pressly firm this leaf into the center onto my book pages. So now I'm going to continue to add my leaves. I am figuring out my placement first on the sides of my book page. And once I have that figured out, again, I'm using my Oohoo glue stick and pressing firmly into place. So I really like to use some natural elements in my decor whenever I can, and I thought that this would be a really fun addition to create the Canada flag. So once you have your leaves in place, you can just check to see how it'll look in the frame. And then using a protective surface, I am now going to flip the book page upside down and trim off any of the excess leaves. Now this is actually going to end up drying, and I am okay with that. This is just going to be for the season. The maple leaves do get quite dry and brittle. So now I'm just going to flip the book page and leaves upside down in my frame, place any little bits that came apart back in place. And then I am going to using the back cover and putting that into place. That'll help press and hold everything in place, and then you can put it on display. I thought that this was such a fun and unique way to create a flag. I am really happy with how it looks. So today's video is part of the Canada A DIY collaboration. A group of us Canadian YouTubers have joined together to create this collaboration, and it is an open invite. This collaboration is hosted by my friend Lisa from Lisa & Company. I'm going to have her channel listed down below along with the playlist. So if you are a fellow Canadian and you love to do DIYs, we'll all have a link for you to add your video to the playlist down below. So for my next DIY, I'm going to be using this maple syrup jar, and it has a little embossed maple leaf on it. I am going to be using a mixture of cream craft paint along with baking soda, and I'm going to be mixing that together. Now I'm using this because I ran out of chalk paint and I haven't been able to find my favorite color. So feel free to use chalk paint or even spray paint. It would probably adhere to the glass a lot better. I did end up having to add about 3 coats of this paint mixture, and admittedly, I was struggling with getting it to stick, but once it did stick, then it actually looked really good. So now I'm going to be using these maple leaf wood embellishments, and I like to color them with some ink pads, and I'm using a light green and a dark green, and I'm just creating a variation in the colors. You could use a craft paint or a wood stain. I wanted the wood grain to show through, and I really like how the ink pad really adds some pretty color to wood embellishments. So once you have them colored, you can then allow them to dry. So my maple syrup bottle here is all nice and dry, and as you can see, you can really see that embossed maple leaf. I'm going to be using this green hemp twine, and I'm just wrapping it around the top of this bottle. I really like the green color, and I felt it just added a little extra decorative touch to the top. And then I'm going to be cutting another piece, and I'm going to tie that onto the handle. Now I do end up needing to cut one more little strip of my twine, and I'm going to glue that into the center of my knot, as I'm going to be using this to add my leaves. So I'm just going to stabilize my bottle and then figure out the placement for the leaves, and then add some hot glue to the back side and attach them to my string. I like these leaves as they add a really nice decorative touch. And then I put this on display with some real maple leaves next to our maple leaf flag, and it just turned out so beautiful. So as part of this collaboration, some of us are sharing the area or things that we love about Canada. So as you know, I am very inspired by nature here on my channel. We have so many lakes where I live, and mountains and beautiful forests. Our family likes to go out on nature walks a lot, and that's where I tend to collect a lot of the things that I use in my projects. We have pretty little streams and large rivers to enjoy as well. Nature is just a big part of where I live. So here we are out as a family on a nature walk, and you can see how lush and green our forests are. And I really truly get just so much inspiration when I'm out in nature. I get a lot of questions on how I preserve the things that I use. I typically just leave things out to dry well before I use them. You could put them in the oven at a low temperature, and that will kill off any mold or bugs that you may find. But yeah, I encourage you to get out into nature and collect some stuff for your craft projects from your area. I love where I live, and I'm truly thankful and blessed. So now I'm going to be doing a DIY using our patriotic colors, red and white. I got these socks from Dollar Tree, and I'm cutting them in half. Next, you're going to need some pebbles as well as some fiberfill and a string. I like to use some pebbles just to add a bit of weight to the bottom of the sock. And if you haven't figured it out yet, yes, I am making a gnome. Now, I haven't made a patriotic gnome before, so I thought this would be really fun. So I've added some fiberfill, and then I'm going to tie off the top with my string. I am going to have a playlist down below for you to check out all the different ways that I make gnomes, and there's lots of little tips and tricks. So now I'm going to be using the top portion of the red sock, and I'm just trimming off the bottom edge and the top edge, and then I'm going to cut that piece in half. So you should have two pieces to work with now. Flip them upside down, add a bead of glue, and then roll this up and add a bead of glue at the other edge, and you will have an arm. You're going to want to do this for both pieces. So now I am going to use this white sock, and it's the top portion that says Canada. I rolled up the bottom edge as I'm going to be using this as a hat. So I'm just pulling that portion over the body just to figure out placement. I decided to add some fiber fill because I really wanted the Canada to stand out, and as it was before, the hat was going to topple over. So just continue to fiddle around the hat until you get the look that you like. Now I'm just going to see how the arms look. I want to make sure that they are long enough. And then you can add your beard. Now, this is faux fur that I got from Dollarama, but you could use yarn as well. Again, I will have the playlist to all the different ways I make gnomes down below. So cut through the back side of your faux fur, and then you can cut a shape to make it look like a beard. Once you have your beard cut out, again, figure out your placement, and then you can glue it into place using some hot glue. So now is the time when you can start assembling the rest of the pieces together. I wasn't satisfied with how my hat looked, so I'm just pulling it back and then adding some fiber fill more evenly throughout underneath. And then I put it back into place and I start to glue things down onto the body. So I always like to start with the back side of the hat, and I flipped it over, added a little bit of glue, and then I also glued the rim of the hat into place as well. So now I'm going to put the arms in place, but first I like to cut the tip on an angle that removes some of the bulk from the arm, then slip it up underneath the hat next to the beard, add some hot glue in the armpit area, and do the same for the other side. Once both arms are in place, you can then add some hot glue to the top of the arm and the body and press the hat into place. Now I haven't glued the hat to the beard yet because I needed to be able to add these pom-poms. I'm using a large pom-pom for the nose, and I needed to be able to access that rim of the hat. Here I'm using some smaller pom-poms for the hands. And now I am going to close up the top of our hat. So I'm just adding some hot glue to the inner rim and squishing that all together. And then generously apply some hot glue to the top. And I'm going to be using this large white pom-pom for the hat topper. As an alternative, you could use some wood beads as well. So just continue to use some hot glue to attach all your pieces and to hold everything together. Here I am using these embellishments, and I thought this one was cute. It says A, and I'm going to add that to the top of our hat. I thought it was fitting to go with our collaboration. And I wanted this little guy to be holding a flag, so I'm going to glue that to the hands. Once everything is glued together, then you can put him on display. Isn't he just the cutest? And I was able to find a cute little wood moose from Dollar Tree to put on display with this cute patriotic gnome. So So as always, I'd like to know which project was your favorite by leaving a comment down below, as well as a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoyed the content. For more inspiration, you can check out this video here to the right. I want to say a big thank you to Lisa and all my Canadian creatives, and I want to thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful day. Bye.